Hi guys, so this is the Allwinner A13 Android tablet that I did an unboxing of a few months ago, and it unfortunately no longer turns on. As you can see, the power button has snapped off and has gone inside the case. So what I'm going to try and do today is open this up and hopefully repair it. As you can see, there are no screws anywhere on the case, so to open it there is a gap between the screen bezel and the back of the case, and you can pry the screen bezel off using either your fingernail like this, or a plastic guitar pick like this, which are sold as mobile phone case opening tools, and you just go all the way around the edge of the bezel and pry it away from the case. You should hear a click as the clips are undone, and once you've gone all the way around the case you can take the front off. Be careful when you open it because the speaker is still attached to the back of the case with a couple of wires, and you can see here inside the tablet now. And the power button has just fallen out. This is the power button which I need to fix. Unfortunately, looking at the motherboard, it appears that the power button itself has become desoldered from the motherboard, so I'm going to have to remove the motherboard to resolder it. So there are 3 screws, one in the middle on the right hand side, one at the bottom right and one in the bottom left. So I'm just going to undo these screws now. That's the first one out. And the second screw, and the final screw. Now, before removing the motherboard, there are 3 ribbon cables that have to be detached, so it's just a matter of pushing up the securing clips and then the ribbon cable should come out very easily. If you have to use any force, it means that the clips haven't been properly undone. So make sure that they're pushed all the way up before you attempt to remove the ribbon cables. So that's the second ribbon cable out now. And the third ribbon cable has a bit of tape securing it to the motherboard, so lift up the tape first and then you can undo the securing clips and pull out the ribbon cable. And the motherboard should now be free of the case, so you can go ahead and turn it over onto its back. And as you can see, the power button is completely free from the motherboard. So I'm going to have to take out my soldering iron and resolder that. There are 2 plastic pins on the bottom of the power button and they fit into 2 holes on the motherboard. So I'm just going to put that into position with the 2 pins inside the 2 holes, and then get the soldering iron to resolder the 4 solder points. So I'm going to resolder the 2 front solder points first, just a little bit of solder and then a little bit of heat from the soldering iron. So that's the 2 front connections resoldered, and now I've turned the motherboard around and I'm going to resolder the rear solder points. I'm just using a little bit of extra solder there just to make sure that the power switch is held in there securely. And that's all 4 points resoldered now. As you can see, the power button is back where it should be. So we can go ahead and replace the motherboard. Just turn it back over onto the right side. And I found that the best way to align it to make sure that it's in the right place is to align the USB and power sockets with the gaps on the case. And now I'm just going to go ahead and replace the 3 screws that I removed earlier. So that's the 3 screws replaced, and now I can go ahead and replace the ribbon cables. Push the ribbon cables fully into the connectors and then pull the clips back down to secure the ribbon in place. And I'm just going to tape this ribbon cable down where it was before I removed it. And just this one last ribbon cable to replace. Now before I replace the back of the case, I'm just going to turn it on and make sure that it is actually working, because there's nothing worse than having to open it all back up again because something wasn't reconnected properly. So it's booted back up now. I'm just going to have a play with it to make sure that it is working. And that seems to be working fine. So I've turned it back off again, and I'm going to put the plastic power button back into its place. You can see that there's a hole there to the right, and that fits over a plastic pin on the back case. So that's the power button back in place. I can go ahead and replace the back of the machine. So just lower it into position and then go around the edge of the case and push down until you hear it click into place. And that's all closed up now, so I'm just going to turn it back on and wait for it to boot up. So the device seems to be working fine now. Everything seems to be working as it should. It was a very simple process, probably only took about 15 to 20 minutes from start to finish. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.